Hey guys, YouTube War 100 here. Alright, and now here I am with another Nickelodeon Christmas special review. And now for my next review, this is going to be a review for the Cousin Skeeter Christmas special, Miracle on 32nd Skeet. So of course, the title is obviously a nod to Miracle on 34th Street, yeah? So, man, just gosh, Cousin Skeeter, man, I mean, what has happened to this show? Like, why is it that this show has really just it seemed to just have fallen into like a complete obscurity? Like, this is a Nickelodeon show that people really just don't seem to talk about anymore. Like, in the last 20 years, I really have not heard anybody really talking about this show. Yeah, so why has this show just fallen into obscurity like that? Because yeah, I really don't know. Because I remember, like, as a kid, I really did love this show. Like, Cousin Skeeter was just like it really was just like such a good show, and it really was like a really hilarious show. Yeah, so yeah, if you have just been like watching Nickelodeon like in the more modern generations of Nickelodeon, then yeah, this is a show that you probably have never seen before. Like, this is a show that really you've got to be from my time to really know this show. Yeah, the show originally it originally aired on Nickelodeon from 1998 to 2002. So really just I really don't know like why nobody really talks about this show anymore, cuz yeah, this really was like a really good show. Like, this was on like during the same time as shows like the Amanda Show and like uh and some other shows like from like the late 90s and early 2000s, like shows like that, like from those times. Yeah, this was shown along with those shows. Yeah, I remember like this show, like it was like part of the Snick lineup for like pretty much its entire run. Yeah, so I really don't know like why nobody really talks about this show anymore, because yeah, it really was a really good show, and I really did love it a lot, and I know that there are some other people that really did like it a lot too. So I really don't know like why this show really has just like become so obscure for Nickelodeon for the last 20 years. Yeah. For those of you that don't know what this show is about, it's about a kid named Skeeter who is like in the show, like he's actually a like he's a puppet. Like, Skeeter is actually like a humanized puppet. Yeah. So it was pretty funny to see like him being a puppet, and he's like with like and everybody else in the show is really like a just a regular human. So it's kind of funny how you just have this puppet with like a whole, just like everybody else is just like regular people. So I find that kind of funny. Yeah, and the show really does never really like acknowledge Skeeter as a puppet. They really just like treat him like he's just another regular person. Yeah. So yeah, and what it's about is like a Skeeter like ends up staying with his living with his cousin Bobby and his parents. And like in the show, Bobby really does learn some lessons and tackles ups and downs of growing up through help of the help of Skeeter. Yeah, and in like a bunch of episodes, Skeeter just does a whole bunch of stuff, and yeah, kind of just get himself into trouble, or he just does like something stupid, or yeah, he just really is kind of like getting into trouble, kind of similar to Key and Kill, but yeah, it's really done in just like really funny ways. Yeah, and the show also did show how Skeeter did know some famous people. I remember there was one episode where Skeeter knew Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah, and there was another episode where Skeeter was actually friends with Big Show. Yeah, and I think there were some other famous people that made appearances in the show as well. Yeah. So yeah, and the show really did have a pretty good cast. The show it had Bill Bellamy voicing Skeeter, yeah, and Bobby was played by Robert Richard or Ricard. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his last name, but yeah, you might remember him from the Disney Channel movie. I believe it was Alley Cat Strike that he was in. Yeah, it was Alley Cat Strike that he was in. Yeah, and this show also did feature Rondell Sheridan, who was also the dad from That's So Raven. Yeah, he was the dad in this show. Yeah, and I remember like I actually did know him from this show before That's So Raven. So yeah, when I like saw him in That's So Raven, I like recognized him from this show. So yeah, I'm sure like a lot of people now will like identify him as the dad from That's So Raven, but I always did remember him as the dad in this show. Yeah, so it did have like a pretty decent cast. Yeah. And yeah, and like I said, I really did like this show a lot. It was like a real funny show, just like with Skeeter being a puppet of it. Like it was just like really funny seeing him being like a puppet and just being like with a whole like just everyone else is just regular human. But yeah, there was also like another. Eventually in the show, there was like a puppet girl named Nicole who like did like was a puppet like Skeeter, and just like Skeeter, there was no real like establishment that. Oh, sorry. There was no establishment that she was a puppet either. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I really did like this show. Yeah, and this show, well, yeah, this sub special, like it like was it was only like the 16th episode of the show. Like I believe Cousin Skeeter like yeah, it only ran for like 3 seasons. Yeah. But yeah, this was only the 16th episode of the show. So yeah, so this was during the first season of the show. Yeah. And overall, I did find myself liking this special, yeah. I mean, like I've been saying with the other two that I've talked about so far, like this year, it's not really like among like Nickelodeon's best Christmas specials of all time. But yeah, I still did find myself liking this enough. Yeah. I mean, yeah. What this special is about is like it's Christmas time, and then like Bobby like ends up getting Skeeter a real present that really does mean a lot to him. So then Skeeter really like wants to give Bobby a great Christmas gift as well. Yeah, and at first like he I guess he's just really like trying to really like serve Bobby and really do everything for him. Like it really doesn't go anywhere, and like eventually Bobby just gets overwhelmed and kind of embarrassed with it that he just like tells Skeeter that the best present he could give him is like not to give him any stress. So then yeah, Skeeter then like winds up like doing something to really like make Bobby free of any stress, but it winds up going wrong, and Bobby just winds up going crazy, and Skeeter really has to figure out how he can really fix it so it'll like Bobby will just like be like normal again and not really like be going crazy like he is. Yeah, and it gets like even worse because like in this episode like Bobby's dad ends up receiving like an award, but he like has laryngitis, so he can't actually give an acceptance speech. So he asks Bobby to make it for him, but yeah, and Bobby like does like agree to it, but then like the what Skeeter does for Bobby ends up going wrong, and then like Bobby just winds up really like going crazy, and even like he's like during as he's trying to give the acceptance speech, like the stuff that like is going on with him, he winds up doing. So yeah, and eventually then Skeeter is able to fix it, but Bobby like winds up like getting some revenge on Skeeter in the end for it as well. Yeah. So yeah, so I think like for uh Cousin Skeeter Christmas special for someone who watched the show like I did, this is probably something that I would really think of for a Cousin Skeeter Christmas episode because yeah, like it really does really have the elements of like what Cousin Skeeter was really known for, and yeah, and it really is just like it really does this setup like pretty well, and I do think that this is overall for Cousin Skeeter, it is pretty good Christmas episode. So yeah, so if you were a fan of Cousin Skeeter, if you did watch the show like I did, if you haven't seen this before, then yeah, I really would give it a recommendation. I think that it is like worth a watch, and it is probably the story that you would really like expect if you did watch Cousin Skeeter. Yeah, and, and yeah, and for those of you that did not watch Cousin Skeeter, if you just watch Nickelodeon and like the more contemporary generations, uh, yeah, I really would like really recommend the show. Like if you can try to find some episodes, like the show is obviously not on Paramount Plus, but if you could find like some episodes like on YouTube or any other website, like if you can actually like find any episodes of Cousin Skeeter, watch the show cuz yeah, it really is like it really was a very enjoyable show. I really did like it a lot when it was on. And yeah, and are like some other people that have really said that they did enjoy the show too. So yeah, so yeah, so I just really don't know what else I can really say about it. So yeah, I'll just like quickly go through the story of this episode. Yeah, so like I said, it is like Christmas, and it opens up with like a Bobby trying to like decide what he should um get Skeeter as a Christmas present. Yeah, and then eventually, Bobby and Skeeter decide that they would give each other their Christmas presents early. So then, yeah, they gave each other their Christmas presents. Bobby's present from Skeeter was just a bookmark, and then Bobby's present to Skeeter was actually a Hank Aaron card that Skeeter has said that he's been wanting. So yeah, so Skeeter was just like so like shocked and just like couldn't believe that he actually had the baseball card, and then like he just really wanted to get a great gift for Bobby as well to really be fair to Bobby and just really like do the best thing he could for Bobby on Christmas for Christmas. Yeah. So then at first Skeeter really was just like serving Bobby, really just like doing a whole bunch of stuff for him. Yeah. But eventually um like Skeeter wound up like embarrassing Bobby, and then Bobby then just like was yelling at Skeeter saying that if he wants to get him a great hate Christmas present, the best gift that he could give him would not give him any more stress. So then, Skeeter wound up hiring a hypnotist, and he like was hypnotizing Bobby, and just like hypnotized him to be free of any stress. But before like the hypnotist like brought Bobby out of the trance, Skeeter was like kind of messing around with Bobby, just like telling him that like to do certain things at certain points whenever like a word would be said or stuff. Yeah, yeah, it would be stuff like when someone would sneeze, Bobby would laugh, and whenever Bobby heard a bell ring, he would bark like a dog, and yeah, just like some silly stuff like that. Yeah, but then then eventually, then the a hypnotist like brought Bobby out of the trance, and at first it just seemed to be normal how Bobby was just like free of any stress. Yeah, and then like Bobby's parents were just then telling him and Skeeter that Bobby's dad like would be like receiving an award because in the show Bobby's dad was a music producer and he would be receiving a award for it. Yeah, but yeah, like I mentioned earlier, the dad like what had come down with laryngitis, so he would was not going to be able to make an acceptance speech. So he asked Bobby to make the speech for him, and Bobby then agreed to it. So yeah, but then later on, like it was like then like the stuff that like a Skeeter was messing around with Bobby with during like the hypnotizing, like that stuff started to take effect because whenever like the stuff happened that Bobby was hypnotized into doing, whenever he heard stuff, like it was happening, and Bobby was like just getting very paranoid. And like laughing at sneezes and barking like a dog when he heard a bell, and yeah, Bobby was really just going crazy. Yeah, And then Skeeter then tried to contact the hypnotist again and just try to fix this with Bobby. Yeah, but yeah, Skeeter was unable to get a hold of the hypnotist at first, but he left a message with his wife, and the wife just told Skeeter that the hypnotist, she would give him the message and get back to Skeeter about it. Yeah, but then Skeeter then was trying to figure out how he could really snap Bobby out of it. Yeah, and then at the award ceremony, like at first everything seemed to be normal, but then Bobby's parents then started to notice Bobby acting strange because of the stuff that he was doing. Yeah, and then as Bobby was trying to give the acceptance speech on stage, like uh Bobby was just continuing to go crazy and do the strange stuff, like barking like a dog and laughing at sneezes and stuff. Yeah, and then eventually the hypnotist arrived, and then Skeeter and the hypnotist were able to uh like uh get Bobby out of the trance and get him to stop doing all that stuff. Yeah, and then the hypnotist eventually did arrive, and then backstage, Skeeter and Bob and the hypnotist were able to get Bobby back there, and then the hypnotist then hypnotized Bobby again, and just returned everything to normal with him. But as he was doing that, Skeeter wound up falling into a trance as well, and before the hypnotist could snap Skeeter out of the trance, Bobby then was just telling Skeeter that he'd be doing some strange stuff as well whenever a certain thing would happen. Yeah, Bobby was just telling Skeeter that whenever Bobby would say Christmas, Skeeter would smack himself in the head with his shoes, and when Bobby would say Happy Holidays, he'd give him Skeeter would give himself an atomic wedgie, and then when he would say Happy New Year, Skeeter would he would I think that he's getting uncontrollably hot. Yeah. So then the hypnotist then snapped Skeeter out of the trance, and then Bobby was messing with Skeeter by doing all those things. Yeah. But then Bobby got back on stage and finished the speech without any problems. Yeah, but during the speech, he was continuing to say those things to get Skeeter to do those things to himself. Yeah, yeah. And then cut to Christmas morning with everybody opening presents, and then the dad said Merry Christmas to Skeeter, and Skeeter smacked himself with his shoes again. Yeah. Yeah. And then the episode then ended with the entire family with so Bobby, Skeeter, and the parents then just crowding, sitting around the living room, just telling the viewers Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and then Skeeter said Happy Hanukkah and Happy Kwanzaa and stuff. Yeah, and then then Skeeter then just was continuing to extend it, saying Happy Birthday and Happy Birthday and stuff, and then Bobby finally just shut Skeeter down and just ended it by telling the audience Happy Holidays. And that's how it ended. So yeah. So like I said, for a Cousin Skeeter Christmas special, I think that this was pretty good. It did have the elements of what made Cousin Skeeter a really enjoyable show and what Cousin Skeeter was really known for being like. So yeah, so like I said, it's not among the best Nickelodeon Christmas specials, but yeah, it is still a pretty enjoyable special, and and I think it is one that Cousin Skeeter fans will enjoy. All right, so yeah, so like I said, if you did like Cousin Skeeter, then uh, uh, yeah, give this a watch, and like I also said, if you've never seen Cousin Skeeter before, try to find some episodes online and give them a watch, because it really was a really good show, and I'm just it just really just upsets me that this show is so obscure and nobody really talks about it, and it's not even on Paramount Plus or anything, because it really did deserve more recognition because it really was a really good show. All right. So so I guess that's all I can really say about it. All right. So so this does my review of the Cousin Skeeter Christmas special, Miracle on 32nd Skeet. So I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.